Hi Ben, happy Spirthday. A scripture that reminds me of you is in Proverbs 31, verse 26, which says, "She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the kindness of teaching is on her tongue." I really appreciate you for leading our tea group, and of course, just being a sister that I look up to, that I can ask for advice, and I really appreciate how you do your best to support us in whatever we are going through. So happy birthday, and I hope that this short video encourages you.
Happy spiritual birthday, Venessa. So the scripture that reminds me of you is actually 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4 to 8. I'm a big receiver of your love, and you really live up to what the Bible say love is. You're always very patient with me, you're always very kind with me. You're also not easily angered, even though I do very funny things. And you also always protect and always persevere. Just reminds me of you, Lord, the love that you always have for others. I really look up to you when it comes to loving others, and I know that many others like me are also a big receiver of your love. So this is the verse that reminds me of you.
So in Luke chapter 10, verse 33 to 35, he reads, "But a Samaritan who was traveling came upon him, and when he saw him, he was deeply moved with compassion for him, and went to him and bandaged up his wounds, pouring oil and wine on them to soothe and disinfect the injuries. And he put him on his own pack animal, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. On the next day he took out 2 denarii, 2 days' wages, and gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, I will repay you when I return.'" Happy spiritual birthday, Venessa. And just how it's so unexpected that the Samaritan was the one who took care of this man. I think whenever I think about you, it's also very unexpected that despite the circumstances that you go through, that you still love God and love those around you. And definitely, personally, I'm very inspired and encouraged by that. And I'm very grateful that we can be on this journey together as close friends. And I just like to say that thank you for the friendship, and much love. Happy spiritual birthday.
Hi Venessa, happy 13th birthday. The verse that comes to my mind when I think about you is Proverbs 16 verse 3. "Commit your actions to the Lord, and your plans will succeed." I think you have very strong faith in what God's plan is for you, and whatever it is, whether it is in your personal life or in your work or in your daily goals that you have for yourself, you commit your thoughts, your actions, and all your deeds to the Lord, and it is very obvious. I learn a lot from you, and I learn a lot about how you trust God, and that He will bring you through all the tough times that you might be having in your life. I hope that I can have half of the faith that you have in God. I always learn from you, and I will always continue to want to know more about your experience with God. So I hope that you continue to have this strong faith. Your plans will succeed, and God's plans will be shown to you, so that you can continue and move on in your spiritual life.
Hi Venessa, a very happy spiritual birthday. I hope that you feel super encouraged by all the love that you're receiving. So a verse that reminds me of you is taken from Yonder, right? And look at you there, Reflection by Venessa Neo. Okay, so I'm going to share from Colossians chapter 3 verse 12 to 14. In the ESV version it says, "Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other. As the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. I think that this verse reminds me of you because I think that you identify with many of these qualities. But the foundation of it all, as you give to others and as you sacrifice to others, is because you love, because you put on love. So here's wishing you a very happy spiritual birthday. Yonder!
Hi Vanessa, happy spiritual birthday. I thought about 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9 to 10 that describes you the most. It says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." I thought about this scripture is because I remember before I left for Malaysia, we bonded over our conversations about families in Hebrews Cafe. I remember how you were so vulnerable, sharing about the difficulties that you face in the family, yet you were just being so persevere in going through all the difficulties. I think there's so much for me to learn from you, and I think since then you have been also very encouraging and very understanding when it comes to similar situations. I think you are just a woman with great faith, going through all these things, still being intentional in reaching out to the people around you. I think this is because your love for people is just apparent and is big. Happy spiritual birthday, Venessa.
Happy spiritual birthday, 姐姐 Venessa.
Hi babe, it's my turn. And as your boyfriend, I think I have the privilege to be able to walk with you on your spiritual path. And I really can able to see how much you fight through your own set of struggles and battles. And it's always, I always admire your resilience and your faith in God, even though to battle through all these weaknesses and your schemas is definitely not easy, but you really strive hard and you wrestle through and you never give up. So indeed, you have reminded me of this scripture recorded in John 15 verse 10. "If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love." I think you always tell me that life is about making choices, and you really walk the talk because you make deliberate choice to go back to the Father, to go back to Jesus, and even at times it just have to go against our sinful nature, but you really make the choice to remain in his love. And though at times you have a lot of disappointments and hurts, but you make the choice to remain in God's love and find hope in him, and not finding hope with your own self, with your own desire or with your own strength, but you keep going back to him. And not only that, you practice and you put in practice, you kept God's command and you carried the cross in your daily life. I think that's very, very admirable, and I am so blessed to be able to have such a godly woman like you as my girlfriend. And and in this journey together, and I would like to call us higher in our spiritual life and continue to learn from one another.